Mission 5, but Deathless. So for this one, we're starting off with GLA, building a barracks, and the rules for this one, we can't lose any units, we can't build any units, and we can't build supply stashes or tunnel networks, because the rocket troopers and workers generated from those will count as unit created. Now, starting off with the rebel ambush, going straight for the dozer. Now, we're splitting off our rebel ambush, that way we got 4 that are going to the south, and then the other 4 are going to take care of that dozer. And going straight for capture upgrade 2, so I want to do some capturing of the US buildings as well. And we're moving our quad cannon to the northeast as well. We'll get into that in a little bit. Now, as for the rebels, we're getting those guys into position to capture the US buildings. So positioning 2 at the power plants, 1 at the war factory, and the other one is going to be pathed to one of the barracks. Meanwhile, we've got 1 dozer that's getting destroyed as we speak, and the quad cannon is going to get positioned in that section. Again, we'll talk about that a bit later. Now that the dozer's been destroyed, we get our rebel into position so then we can capture that barracks as well. See, the plan is we want to capture the war factory and barracks, and then later on try and eliminate all the dozers and command center so then they don't rebuild. So with our rebels, we get 3 of them to fall back because we don't need them in the area anymore. Now with our worker back at main base, we're still building stinger sites because there are still going to be some US forces to attack us later on anyway. Now with the barracks, what we want to do is once we've captured it, we want to sell it instantly. Just like that. And with that rebel, we retreat. Just like this one as well. Now, reason why we're selling off is because if those barracks were to be destroyed, it would spawn 2 rangers, and if those rangers were to be taken out by the bunkers, then that would count as a unit loss. So that's why we're just going to insta-sell. Now, there was 1 dozer that got rebuilt by the command center, so we're going to get the 7 rebels into position to take out that dozer, and meanwhile the 8th one is going to capture the command center. So by doing all of that, that ensures that they will not rebuild. And because we've kept the supply center in play, it means that they won't do their big move and bust out all of their units all at once. Now, as for that quad cannon that I was talking about earlier, because I positioned him in that spot, he was actually within range of 3 Comanches. So there's 3 Comanches that patrol the area, and they go and hover above the water. So my quad cannon was within range, and I was able to pick off those 3. Those are the only Comanches that are in play at that given moment, and we didn't allow the US time to build up their base. See, they do actually build up an airfield, a strat center, as well as a particle cannon too. So now we just have to worry about the remaining ground forces that are on the map, and then we can eventually capture these toxin bunkers and then beat the mission.
One path to freedom. Toxin shells upgrade complete. Yes, I go.
So I was going to capture that power plant, but I ended up changing my mind because I thought, well, if the US does bust out all of their remaining forces, that would be bad news for me still. But also, if we capture it and those bunkers are within range and they take out the power plant before I can fully sell it off, then that would also be bad news. So I decided to just fall back with my rebels and then just tuck them away inside a corner. That way there's no US forces that can get to them easily. Now, there were some US forces going in on the attack before I could make my move, so we're using the stinger sights to do the work here. I don't want my vehicles to take any damage just yet, even though we've got the repair ability. Awesome. So we go in and we get the upgrades. Now, in this mission you only have 3 upgrades available from the black market. So I went for the bullet upgrade and the junk repair upgrade, but then I thought, well, let's actually get the rocket buggy upgrade second. I could have gotten that first, and then that way I could use the upgraded buggy a little bit sooner to do the next phase of the mission, which would be taking out the US forces that are going to be across the bridge that my guys are crossing right now. See, the US forces, they don't really react to the rocket buggy's fire, so it means that I can safely pick them off one at a time, and then they can get the veterancy, and then it'll just mean faster, faster kills for that buggy. So there's 2 Humvees, 1 Crusader tank, and there's going to be some more infantry as well. So at first I was thinking about just luring out some vehicles to get some veterancy that way. But yeah, I figured, nah, just use the buggy to do the work. You've done so well. You figured out how to, pick apart the US base efficiently. So don't screw this up. That was my headspace at the moment.
No lack of courage. Fast as I can. Light tank of the GLA. It will be taken care of. We are the just ones. It will be taken care of. Roads? How boring. Die! What is it? I am going. Leave them in the dust. Okay. Bunker sighted. I am going.
So just speeding through this section here, so these bunkers are garrisoned only by rangers. So it means I don't have to worry about the missile defenders. I can outrange the rangers that are inside the bunker as well, so I don't have to worry about damage either. As long as I don't move them up close and personal, we're good. Now when it comes to missile defenders, they're only going to garrison the civilian buildings that are on this map, so as long as I don't run into any of those, we're set. Now because we took out the US base so early, I was expecting them not to garrison any civilian buildings, so I think we'll be fine regardless. So just trying to expand the map, reveal whatever I can, and vehicles have joined up with the rebels that we invaded the base with, and taking out that Crusader tank, because that would be the biggest threat. So I'm using the Scorpion tanks to reveal the map here, and they didn't garrison any buildings like I thought. Now, the reason why I used the Scorpion tanks to do it is because they're going to be the most tanky in case we did run into any infantry. So since that's now out of the way, I can use my rocket buggies to take out the remaining US forces, and we can also use the Scorpion tanks to chip in. So I used them, and their missiles ended up damaging one of the toxin bunkers, and I was like, oh gosh, I hope I don't have to capture that later, because that might actually get one of my rebels killed if I end up having to capture that. So now all we've got to do is just pick them off one at a time. We do have the repair ability as well in case we get into any trouble, but that's pretty much how we did GLA Mission 5 without building units, without losing units, and without building supply stashes and tunnel networks. Now at the end, when we get to the stats, you'll see that there's 1 unit created. That's going to be from the worker that spawns from the supply stash. So any campaign mission that you do as USA, GLA or China, where you start off with a supply center or a supply stash, that will count as a unit created, even though you're not the one that actually created it. So I just figured I'd let you know in case this is your first time watching one of these Deathless videos that I've released on the channel.
General, the UN envoy has been killed. DMZ is hot. The GLA are trying to establish a base on the other side of the river. You must find a way to destroy that base.
So now we're on USA Mission 5, so for this one we can't build or lose any units, but we can build drones from the Crusader tanks, because they do not count as a unit created or as a unit lost. Now with the Crusader tanks we could build the battle drones or the spy drones. There are going to be demo traps on this map, so spy drones are going to be necessary here. Now with the Comanches we only have 2 of them, and one is almost dead right now, so I've got to be careful here. So my goal for the Comanches right now is we need the weaker one to get vetted up to vet 2 so then it can self-heal. So I'm letting the weaker one do most of the work by taking out these vehicles. As for the strong one, I want to take out these rocket troops. So we take out one, the other one is able to get enough shots and now he's weak too, but just like in USA Mission 3, the rocket trooper is drawn to that Comanche that ran away, so I'm able to use the other one to pick off the rocket troop. So now we can pick off the tunnel network, and even though these Comanches are weak, there's no anti-air nearby, so we're able to pick off the remaining GLA vehicles. Meanwhile, back at main base, we've got our strat center and going for the detention center, so then we can reveal any of the enemy units that are at the enemy base. So since we destroyed the tunnel network, these guys are going to come out to play, and they're going to go straight to my main base. So we're going to use our Comanches to try and pick these guys off, especially the rocket buggy, because I think they could do the most damage. But I do have the Rangers inside the building, so we can defend our base even without the Comanches in play. And going for an airfield next, so then I can use my Comanches to get healed up, or my Chinook as well, because we are going to be collecting resources and there is going to be a stinger site near those resources too, so I was doing that just as an extra precaution. But there's also the rocket buggies too that I just I forgot about, now I'm mentioning it now. So yeah, rocket buggies too, that's also going to be very helpful for the Comanches too. Now back at the GLA base, they have built a barracks and they were trying to get the arms dealer up too, and I can't allow any of that to stay intact. And I want to try and get rid of that worker that's trying to collect supplies, because we need those supplies so then we can build whatever we want before we trigger the cutscene where the GLA destroys the dam. So we're destroying the supply stash as we speak, and I'm letting the vet 2 do the work here, so then I could get him up to vet 3. But I don't want to destroy the supply stash outright, I want to leave it as a GLA hold. See, I've also got all these Crusader tanks, and I do have the Rangers too, but we don't really need the Rangers. I'd rather keep those guys on that side of the map because they're going to be the most vulnerable. Now we're speeding up this section because this is basically just the prep work. So we've got a stinger site and we've got a supply stash, and all we're doing is we're just turning those into GLA holes and then vetting up the Crusader tanks one by one. And that's all we can really do. As for the dozer, because it's my one and only dozer, it is a kind of a slow process, but we're building Patriots and building a line of Patriots to the edge of the map, and then we're also going to build up enough power. See, I'd normally build up the power plants right at the beginning of the mission, but I forgot, so we had to run away and then build power and then run back to build up the rest of the Patriots. But that's pretty much all we do in terms of prep work because of all the other rules. Now I could look at like capturing the GLA base, but you know, if I let them build up, then I wouldn't be able to utilize their buildings anyway, because I wouldn't have any GLA workers on my side to like build up Scud Storms or anything like that. So in this mission you could like build a whole bunch of Scud Storms, and then once the cutscene is finished you could buy all of those Scud Storms all at once at the enemy GLA base and then beat the mission. That's usually what a lot of people do for this mission. But in any case, since I've got a bunch of other rules to follow, I can't do that. Now I am building a command center as well at this side, and I want to be able to change the flight path of my A-10s. So selling off my first command center, and because we're selling off all of those buildings, it does mean that we're decreasing the cash value of our original base if the Scud Storm was to fire, because the Scud Storm, it goes off cash value when you fire it.
General,
So I decided to drop a save here. I thought, well, if I fail a mission, I don't want to have to sit through and do all of that prep work all over again. It is kind of an easy section of the mission doing that first part. So I think, forgive me if I do a little bit of save scumming here and there. Now, with our Comanches, we've got them both up to Vet 3, so these tunnel networks should be easy pickings for them. But what we want to do is we want to use them to reveal part of the map. Now, I wasn't really thinking about it. I could have always used the command center satellite to do that as well. But because it's not at my sidebar, I'm not really thinking about it. See, that's why I like Zero a lot more than Generals, is because some of those options are sidebarred. Now, we have revealed the map, and there's a Scud Storm. And we're going to use the A-10 strike right on that Scud Storm scaffold. And I was trying to hit the quad cannon, but the quad cannon decided to move, and I'm deciding to retreat. Now, I forgot about those 2 rocket troopers, so we picked those guys off, as well as the other 2 in the meantime.
They're attacking our base.
So we were able to get rid of that Scud Storm scaffold. Now, here's the thing. The Scud Storm scaffold doesn't actually get rebuilt. So if you just A-10 right from the beginning, there's no Scud Storm to worry about. But if you did have to worry about a Scud Storm, it does go off cash value, as I mentioned earlier. So what you could do to try and counteract it is, if you build enough, if you gather enough resources, you could do a bunch of like supply center scaffolds, or maybe base defense scaffolds, something like that, and then try and increase the value of one spot, and then once the Scud Storm fires, you cancel those scaffolds before the missiles hit, and then just like that, the GLA will have whiffed, and then you can worry about the Scud Storm a little bit later.
General, build some Patriot missiles. Our base is vulnerable.
High and low. How about those rocket Finish him off. Area secured. On the way. Visibility clear.
So now we're going to bring in the Crusader tanks. So these guys are going to move to the north because the GLA constructed a Stinger site. Now normally I'd be able to stop that Stinger site from being constructed with the Comanches. I just didn't get to it in time. Now with the Crusader tanks, I also got the scout drone because I don't know where the demo traps are on this map. So I thought, let's better be safe than sorry here. I do also have the command center satellite scan that I could use. So again, like, it's something that's in the back of my head. It's just I gotta remember to actually use it. So with those Crusaders, they're closing in on that Stinger site right now. Remember, these guys are all Vet 3. So it's going to take quite a lot for the GLA to actually take out these guys, especially since they're all grouped together just like that. See, if we're talking about GLA units, I would say Terrys are probably going to be the biggest threat because the tanks are built more for, you know, taking out other tanks or taking out buildings, not really for taking out infantry. So as long as we keep the Comanches nearby, we should be covered when it comes to Terrys. As for the Comanches, I just got to worry about quad cannons and Stinger sights mainly.
On your command. Anywhere you say. Crusader tank responding. This'll wake them up. Clearing terrain. Deliver north. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Operation underway. Heavy armor ready for action.
I was a little hesitant to move forward with the tanks because of the demo traps, but I did remember the command center satellite scan, so we use that, and we see that there's no demo traps that are going to get in the way of getting that Stinger site out of play. So that's exactly what we do, and we use the Comanches to take out the demo traps, just in case we need to move our tanks into that section or like do a retreat or something like that, which I doubt would happen anyway because we're pretty well established inside the GLA base now. Really, it's going to take a big army from the GLA to kick me out of their base. I did get a little bit too close to that Stinger site there, so we do retreat, which does mean the Crusaders are on their own pretty much right now. And like I was saying earlier, it's going to be like the Terries that are going to be the biggest threat to these Crusader tanks, and then the Stingers and quad cannons for the Comanches. So we're able to pick off these Scorpions, so my Crusader did get into like dangerous territory there, going into the red pretty much, but we're able to save him. We also got that repair ability too, and I send in the Comanches to try and pick off the Terries, and they decide to attack the supply stash as well, so I'm like, I want the Terries, not the supply stash, we can worry about that later. So yeah, I did not want that, but we got him in the end. No deaths. I used my A-10 strike on one of the Stinger sites. I thought it might get in the way of my Comanches, but I think what I should have done instead was use the A-10 strike where those Terries are at the tunnel network. I think that would have made more sense because that means that there'd be less threats around to pick off my Crusader tanks. So yeah, right now we're just trying to pick off those buildings. See, the two barracks, they're kind of a big threat because they just keep busting out more and more Terries, so it does mean that I have to keep my Comanches to the front to pick those guys off. And then I just got to the point where it's like, you know what, I'm just going to pick off the barracks with these two, and then that way we don't have to worry about any more Terries from the GLA side, except for those four.
Let's grease them. This'll wake them up.
Ease up, Ned. You're running hot.
So one more satellite scan just to make sure there's no other demo traps. So it seems like the demo traps are at the entrances to the GLA base. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any demo traps inside the GLA base. And I ended up getting the battle drones with the Crusader tanks, thinking, well, that way I've got a little bit of anti-infantry weaponry I can use against them. But I did need a little bit of help from the Comanches to help pick off those guys, and I almost lost one of the Comanches as I was doing that by the Sting site. So now we just speed this section up, just picking off the last remaining base defenses and buildings, and that'll pretty much be how we beat USA Mission 5 without building or losing any units, and with building drones with the Crusader tanks too.
Anywhere you say, sir.
You are victorious.
And last off we have China Mission 5, so we can't build or lose any units for this one. Now we're given a Carper Bomb ability, which we're going to use on the enemy arms dealer to the north. We're also going to use our barrage on that same arms dealer because both of these powers separately cannot fully destroy the arms dealer. It'll take it to a GLA hull but not fully destroy it. So now that we've used all of our powers, we're going to sell our command center and build a new one. So then when we get our command center back up online, those powers will still either be cooling down or they'll be ready to go. Now the Carper Bomb ability is going to come from the airfield, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I've got two command centers on the go here, and the reason why we want two command centers is because we're going to get attacks from the north as well as the left, and we're going to use the command centers as meat shields, so then we can defend ourselves from the GLA attacks. So it's mainly going to be the rocket buggies that will attack us, so that's going to be the biggest concern. Now, as for our attack force, we got the troop crawler as well as the dragon tank. So we're using the troop crawler to detect the stealth demo traps, and then using the dragon tank to destroy each demo trap, so then when we push to the left or to the north, or whichever direction, we can get there without having to worry about getting hit by demo traps. So I'm starting this off pretty aggressive, trying to pick off as many GLA things as possible here, trying to vet up my dragon tank, but because it's so early on in the battle, it means that I've got a little bit of time up my sleeve, because those GLA forces aren't going to show up for, you know, the first few minutes or however long it takes for the first attack waves to come. So I'm using my dragon tank to use a firewall on the train station to destroy it. I wasn't sure if that would stop any more GLA reinforcements from that section of the map, but I thought I'd destroy it anyway, which will also clear the map a little bit, makes it easier for my dragon tank to move around if we were to push to the west. Now with the dragon tank, we will try and take out more of the GLA garrison buildings. This time I decided to firewall, just trying to clear out as many buildings as possible here. Because there's so many buildings around, it does mean that I might have to like turn certain corners, which would also mean that my tank would be at risk of getting hit by demo traps or getting hit by stinger sites as well. So I was factoring in all of that as well whilst I was making my attacks. Now since the Carper bomb is ready one more time, I was just trying to think of what the next target would be. So I was like, I could go arms dealer, what could I do? See, I don't have the barrage ready as well, so if I had barrage ready, I'd be aiming at an arms dealer, but since it's not, I'm just going for that same stinger site that's down below. And with the Carper bomb coming, it means I can send in my dragon tank to finish off the stinger site from wherever it's left, and I wouldn't have to worry about my dragon tank being destroyed too. Now since the stinger site and the barracks is out of the way, it means that I could push more to the west in the future, but for now I wanted to retreat back to base so then I can plan out my next move. This is kind of a slow battle, there is a lot of speed ups in this battle, so we're going to sit tight for now and then wait for a new idea to come.
Our base is being attacked!
So we are being attacked by rocket buggies, but if you move your dragon tank outside of your base, you can actually lure one of the rocket buggies, and then once the rocket buggy's been lured close enough, your Gatling cannon can pick it off. So now we've got one buggy out of the way. We still have the other buggy that's off to the north attacking our other command center. We're not going to worry about that because our dozer can heal the command center faster than whatever damage that unupgraded buggy can dish out. Now we're using the mine drop, and we're using it more like a map revealer. We want to try and reveal as much as we can so then we can see what we have to deal with. Now another thing to mention is, look at the mines. I mean, surely this worker would have been destroyed by the mines. I mean, he's walking right in it and the mines did not go off, but in any case I don't mind. I mean, it's just really weird that the worker didn't get destroyed there. So now we have the artillery barrage ready, and we're going to have another Carper bomb ready too. So we barrage the arms dealer that's to the north as well, and we're going to Carper bomb the arms dealer as well. That way we can fully take it out. So there goes the barrage, and see, it's left as a GLA hole, so you really can't destroy the arms dealer if you use those powers separately. So that's why I have to use them both together. So the next Carper bomb is ready to go, and I chose to try and angle it in a way where we wouldn't destroy the sting site, we would just damage it. because in the other carpet bomb we turned the stinger site into a GLA hole, and that stinger site's a bit further away from the one that we destroyed earlier on with the barracks 2. So I want to be able to damage it, and then we can come back to it later with another carpet bomb or with the dragon tank to finish it off. We did take out the worker, but we do also have those quad cannons to deal with later on too. Now we do have more rocket buggies attacking us, so we're going to use the dragon tank to lure that buggy over to where the Gatling cannon is, and then we just got to worry about the other command center. But because it's only 2 rocket buggies attacking, that's still not enough for it to really be a problem. My dozer's still going to be able to repair faster than whatever damage they can do to me. So if it was like 3 or 4 buggies, then we might need to act, but for now we can still leave things go and then we'll worry about it later. So now we're just sitting tight, waiting on our powers to be ready one more time. So now we just gotta wait it out and hope for the best. And because we revealed the map earlier with the mine drop, we were able to take a shot at that arms dealer there, and then we combo it off with the carpet bomb too. So we do take out the arms dealer, but we didn't take out the stinger site. It's almost gone, so it does mean that we might need another carpet bomb later on to try and finish that off. Or if I was bold enough, I could do a dragon tank one more time. So I thought now was a good time to go on the attack with the dragon tank, but I got caught at a bad moment because the technical had rocket troopers inside, and they really did scare me quite a bit. So this is going to be the first of many close calls that are in this battle, and you'll see how progressively more scared I get as the battle goes on, because I think about after 20 minutes we actually get to that point in the battle where I know nothing. See, I haven't played these battles in like over 10 years, and I should have played this battle like normally first before actually attempting to do the mission without losing units or building units. I decided to just go right into the challenge, and yeah, every every attempt that I did, I would last maybe 15 minutes at most. So yeah, when we got to that 15 to 20 minute mark, that was when I was like, yeah, I'll have to just play it by ear and hope for the best. I don't know where the demo traps are, I don't know where the stinger sites are. I just have to make sure that I pick the right movements, and hopefully those movements don't get my dragon tank or troop crawler or whatever unit I'm using killed. Now that the GLA attack has been stopped, I get my dragon tank back into position because I want to try and attack the GLA forces, try and take out those garrison buildings and stinger sites. The less anti-air they have, the better, because it means I can get more carpet bombs through. So I take out this garrison building here, and that's easy work, and I tried going head to head with the stinger site. He was vet 2, so I did have a bit of confidence, but yeah, this was not a good matchup for me because I don't have enough HP to deal with the stinger site one-on-one. So I ended up taking cover and using the buildings to shield the dragon tank from any more stinger missiles. So we're just going to wait it out for now, or so I thought. And so I was cooking up another plan, and I ended up moving my dragon tank into position, and I chose to firewall. And thinking maybe, just maybe, the fire will do damage to the stinger site, but just like that, I've goofed again, and I've taken away my cover, so now I have to attack the stinger site, and this is sort of like a do or die moment. So we survived, yet again, with a fraction of health, but this was so avoidable. There were so many better ways I could have gone about that. So after the failed Kappa Bomb mine drop combo that I did off to the west, I decided to move my dozer into position to build another command center, and I do have my dragon tank nearby to protect them just in case. So we're using the command center again as a meat shield, so then we can protect the units against any GLA forces like these Terries here. So the Terries are going for the command center, not my units. That's a good thing. And the command center can take all of that damage, and the only other attacking unit nearby is going to be the rocket buggy. So just like with the other rocket buggies from earlier, we're going to move the dragon tank into position, so then the rocket buggy gets lured a little bit closer, but this time the dragon tank is going to do the work here. And since he's vet 3, he's going to self-heal too. So that's very good news. So with our dozer, I'm just going to try and inch my way closer and closer to the west and get more Gatling cannons, more command centers, making sure that everyone stays protected until we get to around about where the oil derricks are.
Carpet bombers are ready to deploy.
So I decided to use my barrage on the quad cannons and the sting site because we are going to be pushing west to get to that bottom left corner, and it just means there's going to be less resistance for my dragon tank, troop crawler and dozer when we get there. There is still going to be the risk of demo traps, but the troop crawler has stealth detection, so as long as we keep the troop crawler and the dragon tank close together, then we should be fine. Now I did notice that my power was in the yellow, and I thought it would be better to move the dozer back into base so then we could build up that power, because I was planning on building a lot of Gatling cannons. Now the Gatling cannons are also capable of detecting stealth, so I could also rely on them to take out those demo traps. So we're just waiting on the next carpet bomb to arrive. I was tempted to get my dragon tank to move to the west to take out the supply stash, but I thought, well, let's see if we take out any demo traps as well, which we did, and that makes me feel a little bit more confident. But I thought, well, perhaps just to be sure, maybe we should get the troop crawler to join the dragon tank, that way just in case there's another batch of demo traps, because it seems like they're in batches of 3 demo traps, sort of like in a triangle formation. So as long as we, well, even if it was just 1 demo trap, it's still bad news for any one of my units, but we want to avoid it nonetheless. So the next thing that we're doing is we're doing mine drop in roughly the same area where we've been doing the barrages and carpet bombs. So the reason why we're doing that is because if there's any more GLA attacks and we need to retreat back to the east, we can do that, and then we can let the mines take out the GLA units that are attacking us. So right now we're just going to get the dragon tank and the troop crawler to slowly inch our way forward, because we don't know if there's any more demo traps. I'm confident that we would have taken out all of the ones nearby because of those carpet bombs and barrages, but I do want to be able to move in and take out the supply stash as well as the stinger site too. Now that we've cleared the area, we got to deal with the technical now, and this technical, just like the last one, has rocket troops attacking, so this was going to be another close call. I just didn't know how close for this one, and there was another rocket trip on the way, so that made it even closer. So we did go into the red with our dragon tank, but we were able to survive it nonetheless. And I decided to retreat back to the command center so then I could let my dragon tank self-heal back to full health. And good thing I did, because there was a Marauder tank on the way as well, so I decided to get everybody behind the command center and just hope that my defense holds.
Dragon tank.
So I was thinking about my next target with my general powers, and then I thought, okay, what's going on with the Marauder tank? So I looked down, and he was waiting on a friend, and my remaining mines took out one of the Marauder tanks, and the other one got down to about half health. So now I just gotta hope that my Gatling cannon can take out a Marauder tank at half health. So I use my barrage, and I aim more on the barracks than the arms dealer this time. So a barrage, a level 2 barrage on a barracks will take it out completely, but because of the way I've aimed it, it will damage the arms dealer to the point where it goes into the red with its HP as well. So now I know that that is enough for a carpet bomb to destroy it completely. So now I check back in, and the Marauder tank has been destroyed. My Gatling cannon is looking kind of bad and does need a bit of repair work, but we're able to hold it with our defenses. And I built another Gatling cannon just to boost that defense just that little bit more in case we have to retreat back to that command center too. So I finally got control over the bottom left corner, so still getting some attacks from the GLA, and I've got a new command center to act as a shield. Now I wanted to capture the oil derricks, and I ended up building the command center right next to one of the demo traps, funny enough. And I'm like, okay, well why didn't the command center, you know, trigger those demo traps? So then I was like, okay, what's the hotkey for bunker again in this game? Because the hotkeys in Generals and Zero Hour are different. Now, I think it's because, like, if you do a scaffold of a base defense, that will trigger it because that's an attacking thing. And a command center is not an attacking thing, so that I think that's why I didn't trigger those demo traps. But in any case, I mean, just, like, what are the odds that we ended up building the command center, like, right smack bang next to a demo trap? So, in the end, I was like, okay, well, just to be safe, let's build some more Gatling cannons. So, my fear rating is going up, and the train decided to destroy my command center. You know, I ended up watching Edie do this challenge. I should have known better than to place a command center right on the railroad tracks. So, yeah, I mean, that's my own fault, but in any case, we've expanded to that west side anyway, so it's not like we really needed that command center to stay intact. So, with that said, we use our next set of general powers. So, I go for the barracks, so that's going to be a done deal, just like the last barracks we destroyed with the artillery barrage. And as for the carpet bomb, I still haven't decided yet on the carpet bomb, but for now we're just going to capture the oil derricks with the red guards. That one, I don't know where he was going, but I wanted to make sure they're close by and make sure they get back in the troop crawler. Again, very scared here. This is me probably at my most scared. I was like terrified. And if you give it maybe like another 10 minutes, then you'll really see how scared I got, because we get to that point where I'm like, I don't even want to move forward. It's like I want to like just stay in this one spot, because if I move any closer I'm gonna lose a unit. That was my attitude. I wish I could have like recorded myself playing as well and like have my own reactions. That would have made for a good video. But yeah, in any case, this is what we got to work with.
Anywhere else? Troop crawler signing in.
General, our base is under attack.
Unit lost.
So the carpet bomb was a success for the most part, but the sting site was turned into a GLA hole, so I do need to move in quickly with the dragon tank and the troop crawler to finish it off. So the troop crawler is basically going to be tailgating the dragon tank making sure that there's no demo traps nearby. Because I haven't played this mission in over 10 years, again, I still don't know the locations of all the demo traps or even the stinger sites or GLA units, so I'm really playing things pretty carefully. I say that, but I ended up letting my troop crawler take damage there from that garrison building. So even though it seemed like a little bit of damage, I'm taking it very seriously because of how scared I really am. It's a lot of the fear of the unknown, and also the fear of, well, if I fail, I'm gonna have to do all of this again, and who knows if I'm going to get an attempt this good. That was my thinking on the matter. Now with our dozer, because we cleared out this area, I decided I think we can move more north this time, so this is kind of a bigger push than normal. Making a new command center as well, that way we've got that shield just like all the other command centers. And Carpet Bomb almost took out the stinger site, which is kind of good. It does mean that I'll be able to get to that with the Dragon Tank or something else like another Carpet Bomb and finish it off. And I ended up using the Art Barrage on the stinger site, so that will finish it off for sure. And we got our Gatling cannons set up, so we're revealing more demo traps that have been stealthed, clearing the way with our Dragon Tank, which means that we'll be able to pick our next target for another command center and more Gatling cannons. And here come the Terries. No luck there. See, because it's a Vet 3 with firewall abilities and the black napalm, it's going to take a lot to take down this Dragon Tank. But I just got to be able to use it properly. Since we cleared out this section of the GLA forces, I thought, well, I don't want to leave my guys out in the open like this, so let's retreat back to where our command center is. That way we've got some form of defense if there's any more GLA attacks. Now there's one quad cannon off to the far left, and I thought, okay, well, let's build more Gatling cannons in case the quad cannon gets in on the action here. And there's also one stinger site off to the far left too. And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna have to deal with those later on. Our Carpet Bomb's ready, so I'm just picking my next target, which is going to be a stinger site as well as a garrison building 2 from the GLA. Alrighty, here comes the plane, and the damage is actually pretty good. So not only do we mostly destroy the stinger site, we actually destroy some of these demo traps that are in the way. Now, we could also get our Dragon Tank to finish off that stinger site, but I don't think this was a good move. We ended up using the artillery barrage to finish off the stinger site. See, a barrage would just destroy a stinger site even if it was at full health. Now I used my mine drop, and that actually triggered the quad cannon into moving into those mines, so that destroyed that and took care of that problem. So here's where we get into some silly play, we'll say. So we ended up moving our troop crawler and our Dragon Tank close to where this stinger site is. Again, the troop crawler, we're just using that to try and detect any demo traps that are nearby. And I'm thinking, okay, well, this Dragon Tank is Vet 3. So it wasn't Vet 2 when we had that close call with the other stinger site. And I ended up going for Firewall. So again, silly play, we've removed our cover. And so now we're using more firewalls to remove the cover completely. And then I remembered, hang on a minute, I didn't use all of my general powers. I still have the repair ability. So I keep using firewall when I should just go in there directly and then use the repair ability to top up my HP. See, that would have made a lot more sense. But yeah, again, me playing very scared, and yeah, when you play scared, it means that you're more likely to make mistakes like this one, where we almost lost the troop crawler because I was attempting to use the troop crawler to cover some of the fire. But again, yeah, just when you play the game, or any game, try to keep your emotions in check. That's probably the biggest lesson that I can teach you out of this video. So I ended up trying to go for another war factory, and I couldn't find the space to build another one, so I was like, okay, let's just go back to our first one that we built in the bottom left corner, and then we'll figure things out from here. I think we've done enough damage to our mental game right now.
General, our base is under attack.
Adjusting gas valve.
So I decided to take another crack at the stinger site. So we do take a few hits on the way, but this stinger site is at less than half health. So I did feel confident that we'd be able to win the 1v1 against the stinger site. So we survived with about a quarter health, but we're able to retreat back to the command center and get healed up because we've got self-healing. Now, next thing we want to do is we got mines, so I used the next mine drop as a map revealer to see what the GLA has left, and it also means that if I wanted to do any more artillery barrages or carpet bombs in that section, we could do that. So I ended up using my barrage as well as the carpet bomb on the barracks as well as the stinger site as well. And I felt like this was a good moment to move in, and this is where all hell almost broke loose. This was the moment where I went from scared to absolutely shitting my pants scared, because we almost lost control of the troop crawler and it almost cost me the match. I was like that for I don't know how long, but I was pretty much almost frozen in place, and I then went from, okay, let's use the troop crawler and the dragon tank to reveal the demo traps, to, nah, we're building Gatling cannons, they're going to reveal whatever's stealthy, and then they're going to do it. You two, your moving privileges have been revoked. That was my attitude at that moment, because I was like, nah, I cannot afford any more mistakes like this. We must play this as carefully as possible here. And so this is what I mean by me playing absolutely terrified. Since the carpet bomb failed, I decided to use my mine drop on the quad cannons so we can clear the way of anti-air for when we use our next carpet bomb. Next up, I used my troop crawler to reveal where the next batch of demo traps are, and I was going to use my dragon tank to deal with it, but then I was like, no, we're not doing that anymore. So we ended up building a Gatling cannon so then we can reveal those demo traps and then deal with them that way. Now, it doesn't matter if we didn't reveal all 3 of the demo traps in each pack, because if you blow one up, the rest will go with it. We're going to use our barrage on the garrison town next, so then I can move in with my troop crawler to reveal the next 3 demo traps, and then we're building another Gatling cannon to pick off those 3. So playing it super safe, and I'm going to do carpet bomb on the sting site one more time. Since the quad cannons are out of the picture, I thought, okay, that should be enough to at least do some damage on the sting site, but there was still some more anti-air as well, so yeah, I got 1 hit in, which ended up dealing with one of the garrison buildings, but it's not exactly the target that I was going for. So it's back to the drawing board, and we got to deal with the rest of the anti-air that we've got, so then I can hit that stinger site.
We have plenty of seats. What's next? Fasten your
This
seatbelt.
enemy has no honor. There are more of them hiding in the mountains to the northwest.
I built for China.
General, our base is under attack.
Nice location.
So I did creep forward with the troop crawler so then I could reveal the next batch of demo traps, so I have given it back its moving privileges for now. Meanwhile, I've got my dozer building another Gatling cannon so then it can pick off the demo trap that we revealed earlier. Now there's 2 Terries coming my way, but my Gatling cannons are within range, but I did retreat just to be safe, and I'm going to use my dozer to finish building that Gatling cannon so then we can pick off that demo trap, and we can also use it to pick off any other Terries that come out of that barracks. I did also use my mine drop. I thought that might slow them down a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter because we are able to finish constructing that Gatling cannon, so we can use that one to pick off the Terries too.
Fight them. Drive them out. A very good plan, General. Building is
So I was getting annoyed with the Terries destroying my Gatling cannon, so I decided to use my barrage on the barracks, so then I could fully construct another Gatling cannon, and then that way I can move my forces into the GLA base, and also ensure that there's no other demo traps to worry about too. Also using a carpet bomb, I was using it on that Stinger side, but again there's still too much anti-air getting in the way, and I hadn't cleared the civilian buildings that got destroyed, so my troop crawler was taking some damage there. Luckily I was able to get him out, and I did use the repair ability just for a little bit of insurance as well.
We will live in prosperity. That's not a good spot. Try another.
I decided that I would build another war factory that's a little bit closer to where we're actually doing things. So I got to clear up these buildings first so then I can get the war factory up. And then if my troop crawler takes any more damage, I can send him in for repairs. Same goes with the dozer too.
Building is complete. We have big plans.
I'm using my next mine drop again as a map revealer just to see how much anti-air they have left in case I need to do any carpet bombs on that one Stinger site that I've been targeting I think 3 times by this point. So now I can use my carpet bombs as well as my artillery barrages to take out that anti-air, so then future carpet bombs can get further into the GLA base in case we need that extra bit of firepower to take out the base that way. So we're going to use our first carpet bomb. Again, we're going for the Stinger site closest to our base. That way we can do solid damage on that, but it turns it into a GLA hole, which is bad for me. So I ended up using my Dragon Tank and Troop Crawler, again giving them moving privileges, so then they can take out the Stinger site and finish what the carpet bomb had started. And I'm going with Firewall too. So Firewall is also going to deal with the demo traps too. So now there's less to worry about with the vehicles. And we use artillery barrage on the next Stinger site, so now we're at that point where the next carpet bomb could very well get into contact with that Stinger site. And I'm using a mine drop as well inside the GLA base in case any of that infantry decides to move. Now the Stinger site almost got taken out, so we're going to use the Dragon Tank to finally finish off that Stinger site. Now the palace, thankfully the palace hasn't been garrisoned by any of the GLA infantry, so it does mean that I can safely take it out. But there is another bunker as well, so that bunker does have pretty good range. So the only other way I can think of to get to the palace would be to go around the resource pile, which is now empty. Now there is one tunnel network that we attacked earlier, so we're able to take that out with the Dragon Tank as well. Now since we've been doing so many attacks on the GLA base, I was feeling a little bit more comfortable about going in there without the Troop Crawler. But that being said, there was still a little bit of fear factor coming into play. Even though I knew that it was kind of safe, there was a part of me that was like, no, we got to take this nice and easy. We've got to take it nice and slow now. So I'm using my Dragon Tank to use the firewall and slowly but surely picking apart that palace and bunker there without getting any shots from the rocket troopers inside. See, I'm still sort of playing it very carefully, building more Gatling cannons, making sure there's absolutely zero risk of a demo trap. So I'm still firewalling, making sure there's nothing that will get in the way. And I'm using the barrage to take out the other bunker. Now there's 2 quad cannons positioned next to that garrison tower too. See, that was also a concern. I was like, okay, well, if I get too far, they might get to my vehicles, and even a Vet 3 Dragon Tank might not be able to make it. And I noticed there was a couple more quad cannons. So I was like, okay, I think I need to risk it here. And so I'm using the firewall. We took out the command center. Now there's just a supply station. I was like, no, what if there's another demo trap? So I'm getting in my own head here, but eventually we do take out the supply stash, and that will be how we did Mission 5 but Deathless. So if you enjoyed this one, or you enjoyed me getting in my own head, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I do have a playlist if you want to check out any of my other Command & Conquer content. I'm Cracklo, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bomber bombers are ready to deploy, General. We are victorious.
They're attacking our base!